I loved doing the research and I loved writing the historical pieces of the book. About a third of the book, maybe a little bit less, is set in 1940s Paris during, actually right before the occupation, so 1939, 1940, and then it jumps a bit and is in 1943 during the occupation. And those scenes are all set in the Angelological school, where characters are learning about what angelology is, about the hierarchies of angels, about the history of angelology, and about its function in the modern world. So it blends, I think, a nice mixture of historical adventure with research about angels. There's a scene in the book where there's what I always call the Nephilim ball, and it's set in a grand hall in Paris, and the Nazis are having a sort of a dance, and there's champagne and flowers, and one of the characters walks through and notices that peppered through the crowd are these very strange, tall, icy-looking creatures that are Nephilim. So I've used actual historical backdrops to place the Nephilim and the angels, and I hope that this makes readers feel a sort of sense of dislocation about what is real and what isn't. Abigail Rockefeller came into the mix basically as a function of the plot, and I know that kind of sounds backward, but I wanted to have the object that eventually, the lyre that eventually is found, I wanted it to be placed in 4 distinct locations, and I started doing research of what would be the most seductive or alluring locations to have this instrument placed, and I found, and it's not surprising because the Rockefellers were actually very well connected in the 40s to New York society and to philanthropy, but I found that these sites were the sites that I wanted were all in some way connected to the Rockefeller family. And Abigail Rockefeller herself was a very interesting and intriguing person. Her interest in modern art was very different from her husband's interests, and she's a very alluring character. Real myth, fictional myth, it all comes together. It's woven together in a very, I hope that it's woven together in a seamless way, so that the reader can't really discern what is real and what is not real, what myth is documented historically, and which one is just created in the book. So yes, I'm mixing all sorts of myths together.